Red Bull has the strongest engine on the grid, and it is the least of their problems. The data confirms what Lewis Hamilton admitted after Monaco, that the Ford power unit is the benchmark. Yet this same team sits triple digits behind in the championship, with a car that was overweight, unpredictable, and more than a second off the pace. The RB22's problem is the chassis, and fixing it requires a revolution. Pierre Wache admitted in Hungary that the team would develop the car until the last race, but that was not heroism. It was an admission that his department has failed. This is not about winning races. This is about proving to their four-time champion that they can still build a car worthy of his talent. Can Wache find the missing performance before Verstappen runs out of reasons to wait? We are clearly too slow. Wache's words in Hungary confirmed Red Bull was the fourth fastest package on track. The car suffers from instability at corner entry and understeer through turns, flaws that have plagued the RB22 since March. Two major upgrades in Miami and Austria have been deployed, but the car still carries excess weight, costing 0.2 per lap. The human cost is visible in rookie Isaac Hadjar's season. He has scored points in 12 of 14 races and sits 8th in the championship, but he is wrestling a car that even a four-time champion struggles to control. Survival is not success. The question is whether upgrades can arrive fast enough to turn this wounded machine into a winner. Hamilton said Red Bull has the strongest engine, and Mercedes engineers privately agreed during winter tests. FIA data confirms the Red Bull powertrain produces the highest peak power and most efficient deployment on the grid. The irony is staggering. Red Bull built their own engine for the first time, and every expert predicted it would be their vulnerability. Instead, the engine is their asset, while the chassis has collapsed. The cruelest twist is the regulations. Mercedes and Ferrari receive extra development time to catch up with inferior engines. Red Bull, as the benchmark, receives nothing. Every improvement must come from the chassis, the component that is failing them. The best part of their car is locked in amber, while rivals close the gap on both sides. 73 days to realize the chassis concept was flawed. The RB22 was 12 kilograms overweight and generating 15% less rear downforce than the Mercedes. This was not a setup problem. It was a design problem. The timing could not have been worse. Adrian Newey left for Aston Martin, and he has admitted his new project is months behind schedule. The team's progress since Miami has been real. A second in Austria, podiums in Canada and Belgium. But the RB22 only performs at circuits that suit it while struggling at tracks like Silverstone. The gap has shrunk from a second to a 10th on some tracks, but that 10th has proven stubborn. Can they solve the imbalances before the regulations freeze for 2027? Verstappen's contract contains a performance clause triggered if he falls outside the top two. He sits 6th, 109 points behind, and the trigger has been met. The clause gives him freedom for 2027. Giampiero Lambiase, his race engineer since debut, is confirmed to be heading to McLaren. This is not a rumor. Helmut Marko has admitted he would not bet on a title challenge this year. Toto Wolff has closed the door on a driver change, stating Russell and Antonelli will remain. The most attractive landing spot is off the table. The October deadline means Verstappen cannot wait to see how the development unfolds. Every race is an audition for the team that wants to keep him. Ford did not pour billions into Formula One to watch their partner finish fourth. The corporate pressure is immense, coming from Detroit, from boardrooms expecting immediate returns. When the car is fast, tensions disappear. Contract clauses become irrelevant. Engineer departures become footnotes. Verstappen is not angry, he is calculating. He is watching to see if this team can still deliver. The performance curve has clawed back almost a full second, but recovery is not domination. The timeline is cruel. They cannot build for 2027 because the new power unit regulations next year will reset everything. Every update is a message. Every 10th is a reason for Verstappen to stay. Every race without a victory is a step closer to the moment he decides the mountain is too steep. The most dangerous driver in Red Bull's garage might not be Verstappen. Ishaq Hadjar has become the variable that could change everything. The rookie has out-qualified Verstappen 3 times and sits 8th in the championship. He has scored in every race since Canada, including a podium at Monaco. Perez lasted less than 2 seasons. Lawson was given 2 race weekends. Tsunoda was promoted to reserve after 1 season. Hadjar has already outlasted all of them in a car that is objectively more difficult to drive. This is not survival. This is mastery. Red Bull now has a credible alternative without the salary demands or contract clauses. The junior program has also produced Arvid Lindblad. This abundance has shifted the balance of power. Red Bull is no longer desperate to keep Verstappen at any cost. If Hadjar wins a race before Verstappen, the dynamic inside that garage will shift forever. Zandvoort is the first real test of whether the development program can deliver. If the upgrades produce a competitive car and Verstappen fights for the win, the narrative shifts. A victory would prove Red Bull can still build championship machinery. If the car is only 4th fastest, the doubts multiply. In the best case, a win gives Verstappen proof that this team can still compete. The contract clause becomes irrelevant. In the worst case, the upgrades fail and he heads into the October deadline with no evidence of progress. Lambiase leaves for McLaren. The rumors intensify. The human element is the variable no data can predict. The connection between a driver and the team that gave him everything. The weight of a legacy built since he was 17. The answer will come from the track, from the feel of the car, from the data after every session. The answer is written in the lap times. The engines will fire up in Zandvoort, but the real battle has already begun. If they cannot build the rocket, the astronaut will fly elsewhere.